simple trivia questions. If you win, just come down and get it. I can't really see because that freaking light. I'll hopefully find a hand. How many Leprechaun movies are there? So that guy's hand first. 7 Leprechaun movies. Correct. Come on down, grab a DVD. You got the movie we just watched. You got Leprechaun. You live the magic at home. Who has the dirtiest shoes? You! All right, you win. They're filthy. All right. Nah, he's in the middle. Pass that back up there. All right. Which part did Leprechaun go to space? Right side. Leprechaun 4 in space. Woo! When Leprechaun went to the hood, which 2 rappers did he encounter? Ice-T and? Ice Cube. Nope. Nope. You said Ice Cube though, yeah. Yeah. Coolio was the other one, correct. Come on down. You were half right. All right, take another look. You're getting half right. Where does the third film take place? Where did Leprechaun go to in Leprechaun 3? I think I saw your hand first. Las Vegas, correct. Here you go. Which part does Clint Howard appear in? Anyone? Nope, you just won. You want the same one? Number 2. Nobody knows? You just, number 2. Number 2, Leprechaun 2. All right, here we go. All right, I'll make them harder now. All right, so Jennifer asked us if we knew this is her first movie. She did a bunch of movies with Paul Rudd. What was Paul Rudd's first kind of big, not Clueless, but horror movie? This guy's super excited. Halloween 6, correct, you win. I got 2 more. What was the name of the last Leprechaun movie? It had a subtitle. I'm looking for the... So you were down in the back, yeah? Wait, the last one or the... Yeah. Like the last one? Okay, not past me, right. Leprechaun Origins, correct, you win. Actually, you're in the middle. Go ahead, pass that back up. And for the final one. Who? You. Yeah, all right. I ran out of trivia questions, sorry. We also had a limerick contest, and I get to read the limerick. So I should have won one of the DVDs, but all right, here we are. The winning limerick. The rainbow I followed to see, the spot where the pot of gold be. But when I got there, it seemed mighty queer to find leather-clad men there with me. That was Rob Koplos. You are the winner. Come on down if you're here, Rob. You still here, Rob? He failed. What do we do? All right. Well, we'll get it to him somehow. All right. And then the winning team for the Leprechaun Pot of Gold scavenger hunt was Go Guinness or Go Home. You guys here? There you go. All right, they have your Pot of Gold prize and a rainbow. Congratulations. You did great work scavenger hunting. Don't get, again, they could not have been here for anything else. Right? Is yours? You don't take it? Oh, come on, you can't just take somebody's hat. All right, now let's get the Q&A started, guys. Yeah, we have writer-director Mark Jones. And is John still with us? Oh, there he is, John. John's in. It is right, yeah. Mark, you wrote the movie, so talk about what were the origins of this? What was your kind of... What was the inspiration for Leprechaun?
First of all, I just want to apologize. I've gotten better. I just want to get that right up front so there's no misunderstanding. No, it was great. It was fun. Lucky Charms commercials. That's true. I was at El Chorito, and I was having a drink, and I said, you know, they've done Halloween and and they've done Friday the 13th, and just about no one's done St. Patty's Day. And Leprechaun is supposed to be friendly and nice, but what if you steal his gold and he's evil? And so I actually came up with it based on the commercials. Not enough where General Mills will sue me.
Well, on that note, if the IMDb is to be believed, which it never should be, the real Lucky Charms was supposed to be in the movie, but you had a fake one. Can you tell the story about that?
I have the story.
Okay.
I was there. No matter what you hear. The story I saw, and I saw it on IMDb, was that we had shot with Lucky Charms, and General Mills saw the movie and said, oh, we hate it, and we don't want you to use it, so we had to go reshoot. I don't know where that came up. Simply, it was scripted as Lucky Charms cereal, and when we went down to production, the production designer said, oh, you know, by the way, we can't really use Lucky Charms because we have to then get the rights from General Mills and all this and that. And I said, okay, let's make it look like, you know, Lucky Charms. So they did Lucky Clovers, and they did a similar thing, and so we don't run into their copyright. And I said, and the audience will get the joke. And that's what we did. We shot it once, it was in there. So that is not true. And I'm dispelling that rumor, and yet I still see it on IMDb, and it amazes me.
Because the IMDb is usually just so accurate about everything. I mean, it's really...
Well, you know, I was 10 years old when I shot this movie, in 93. So...
and John, you did most of your scenes with Miss Aniston. Talk about working with her. I mean, did you know should go on for this to be in the top sitcom of all time?
Wow, how would you know that?
I'm the director. You gotta get the mic on. Loud sound.
No, you know what? She was a doll. The whole time I was on the set, it was just fun. It was good. It was because it came from the top down. You know what I mean? He was having a good time, and we all had a good time. She was just a sweetheart. I think she still is a sweetheart. Really?
I missed the I think they shut it off. The shooting location. Where did you guys actually shoot this?
We shot it in Simi Valley in a place called Big Sky Ranch, which was Little House on the Prairie. They shot Little House on the Prairie. Some of the farmhouse and we used was in Little House on the Prairie. I don't know. It wasn't their main house, but it was one of their houses. So, and it was unbelievably cold. I don't know what when she was looking for the four-leaf clover, there was wind burning, and it was horribly cold, so people had to bundle up, and then Jennifer, who never forgave me for putting her in those shorts, she had to run out there and, and freeze between scenes.
We forgave you.
She has.
The makeup, Gabe Mortalis did the makeup for the Leprechaun. Did you work on the design with him? Is that all of his own? Or?
No, I did. As a matter of fact, when Gabe came in, he had a bunch of drawings, and we worked carefully with the drawings, and we got the one that I liked, and I said, let's do that, and he did a little clay mold, and we kind of said, that's it. And then we had to sell it to Trimark, the studio, which they didn't like anything, because studios never like anything the creators come up with. But we ended up getting it through. So that was Gabe. Gabe is, was the genius who made it work, but we worked together on it.
John, were you disappointed that you got hurt so easily and you didn't get to run around in the cold and all this, or were you happy to?
You know what? I was set up. I was set up.
I gotta move my seat.
I mean, oh my gosh! And she turns and looks at this young, beautiful guy, and that's it. I'm done. I'm out. Just get the old man out of the way. I love some of the looks I got though when he was talking about what the heck was he talking about? Anyway, no, with her. Yeah, yeah.
He was just so gorgeous, she didn't care about you.
Daughters don't love their daddies too much, huh? No. My daughter's here tonight. She saw this briefly when she was 8 years old. She came into the room. She got terrified and ran out. So this is the first time in 25 years sitting with her daddy. Thank you.
You have a very beautiful daughter, so it runs in the family.
And you know, when we did this, he had hair.
Yes, I did. You can find it on the internet, I'm sure.
So behind the scenes, yes. I had the Gallagher hair. I put the baseball cap and nothing else.
What was the incentive to shoot in? I mean, not shoot, to take place in North Dakota if the movie shot around here.
You know, it literally, when I wrote the script, it was just, I said North Dakota. I figured some desolate place, and it just came out of my mind. Probably with some alcohol in my system. You know, it's funny. I watched the movie, and I want to re-edit everything. And it's funny because I look at it, and I see things, and I hear the audience reaction, and I said, you know, I went to theaters when it opened in '93, and it's amazing, the reactions were very similar, the same places, the same chuckles, and I just thought that's kind of interesting. So humans don't change, I guess.
What about you, John? What was the last time you had actually seen the whole movie?
25 years ago.
25 years ago.
You wouldn't look at it again. I watch it constantly. As a matter of fact, I sit at home with a glass of wine and I just run all the time. All the time. The only thing I have left in my life. Now, we have a new franchise coming out, but I'll save that.
What is it?
Well, it was supposed to be shot about a year ago. I said, well, you know, Leprechaun was popular, but Lionsgate owns it now. Originally it was Trimark. Lionsgate bought it. And they send me some money, but I never think they send me enough. So I said, let's come up with a new franchise, which if you had a vampire bat bite a leprechaun, he would become a little vampircon. And if you Google Vampircon, there was a whole lawsuit because we were ready to go into production. We had funding, and some guy claimed that he was involved in it, and so we had to sue him. And while we went through the court case that we won, the money got on hold. But it's back around again. So we're actually going to do a whole new Vampircon, and Warwick Davis may be in it. So he was very mad about Leprechaun Origins. And we talked on the phone, and I said, Warwick, you were what made it work. Look, it was never to be taken serious. It was fun. It was, you know, it was kind of corny, but it was it. And I said, they're trying to do a real straight Leprechaun called Leprechaun Origins and call it, you know, a sequel or part of the Leprechaun, which I have to say it is because I get money for that. If it's not part of it, I don't get money. But I said, you should have been in it. People love it because of you and the comedy and this stuff. They made it a straight-ahead horror. I'm curious, how many people have seen Leprechaun Origins? Yeah. And did you find it compared to the Leprechauns, or was it a completely different movie? Yeah. And I don't think it did well.
Yeah, it was
You're getting this on video, right, George? Because this is part of the court case. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yes. I forgot where I was. I've had 2 drinks.
I was down there for one of them.
Yeah.
The new franchise.
No, well, we're working on it. We have another one that's coming out. You know, it's amazing that Leprechaun keeps going, and I figured I got to come up with a couple of more. So we've got another one.
There's a special thanks for Dan Quayle in the movie, which is interesting.
I'll tell you what there was. There's also special thanks for George Lucas. Dan Quayle was. Well, it was '93. He wasn't our VP, was he, or was he?
No, he was gone then.
He was gone, but Warwick needed to come from England and get an immediate visa or something, and somebody in the company, somebody in our group knew Dan Quayle, or knew somebody who knew him, and Dan Quayle made a phone call because he had been the VP and got him expedited. And got Warwick in here because they really were saying he can't come in for 3 months, and we were ready to shoot. So he did that, and George Lucas got to thank you because he was under contract because of Willow to George Lucas, and George Lucas had to release him to do this picture.
So the way he released it, we told him I wasn't involved, and George Lucas says, "Okay, you can do it." so there's some other thank yous, but
Yeah, that was the one that stuck out. You don't see Dan Quayle
no.
enough. Right?
And but that was the reason. He expedited work. We wouldn't have had work without Dan Quayle.
All right, thanks, Dan. We got some questions for you guys out here. Yes, Brian.
Good evening. First of all, John, I want to wish you a happy belated birthday. Yeah, John. And we don't see you again before that. I want to wish you a happy 35th anniversary of Firestarter, because I know that's coming up next year.
Wow.
And hopefully your daughter is forgiving Drew Barrymore for making a creepy critter out of you. Also, she's never giving you as much trouble as Mark Paul Gosselaar did on Saved by the Bell.
Oh my gosh. You've been around, haven't
You know, these audiences know everything.
question is, and this is a little something, but I've wondered this for years anyhow. How many productions of 12 Angry Men have you appeared in on or off Broadway, and what juror or jurors have you played in each? Because I always thought you'd be very well suited for that.
That's very nice. Never done it, but I'm not dead yet. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. You know, one of the things that I like so much about this movie, again, I hadn't seen it for 25 years. I love the humor. I mean, it was goofy, corny, but in the next cut was, "You're dead." He's a genius. The man's a genius.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Trimark will take full credit. Actually, I wanted to bring up something. I had a lot more comedy in it, and they kept telling me I need to cut out the comedy scenes. And there was a scene, if you remember, when you got bit, and they rushed you in, and you might have remembered it, because I think we shot it the day you were there, because you were working that day. You got taken away in the pickup truck, and they ran out, and we cut to the ground, and all of a sudden, Warwick pops up with tire tracks down his body. And then he runs in and takes the tricycle, and Trimark said, "You gotta cut it out, you gotta cut it out." And I said, "But I think that's what's fun about it." I said, "You'll have him on a tricycle, but you would think that tire treads are too corny or too comical." So there was a lot of comedy cut down, and there was, name will not go mentioned, there's one person at Trimark that I think, a post-production guy who claims that he made the movie funny, and he did just the opposite. He was going in and saying, "We need to do this and do that," and I didn't have as much power. I mean, it was my cut, it was my movie, but I had to listen to the powers that be, and when they said take it out, I said, "Okay, I'll have to take it out." So there was a lot more comedy. There was also, he's driving in a car, and with the cop, which is not in it, it's just the cop's already in the car and it's not moving, and he was eating donuts and put the cop's hat on. So I had a lot more comedy in it. But it's all going to be in Vamprecon, because anything I don't shoot, I just put it to my next script.
Any more for you guys out? Oh, right here, sir.
So, 25 years later, what are these characters doing today? Ozzy getting his operation.
You know, I knew you were going to ask that question. Well, let's see. Jennifer's a big star on a sitcom. You know what? Honestly, as a writer, I write for the moment, and I don't think where they're going to go. Though, when we got a sequel, I actually wanted to use the original cast. My idea for the sequel was that we would have we'd have Leprechaun. We'd show a new Leprechaun coming in, and the camera would pan up, and she'd have a female voice, and she'd go, "Where's my husband? Where's my husband?" And it was going to be a female Leprechaun, which no one's ever talked about or seen, and it was going to be played by Warwick in drag. And he loved it, and he was going to be the wife that resurrects him, and then they were going to go out and was going to stay on the farm and stuff like that. And of course the studio, as their wisdom, because they're geniuses, and they said, no, we're going to do Leprechaun 2, and we're going to do, as you know, Leprechaun 2 was Hollywood and the thing, and the race problem. So that was good. So I was going to actually continue with the characters and actually bring Ozzy back and Robert Gorman and the thing, and maybe someday we'll do number 8 or 9, and we'll go back and do that and do that. So if we get a loud enough applause and we put it on camera. we'll get to do that.
Any more from you guys?
Yeah, I got a question.
Oh,
for
yeah, right
John.
here. Sorry.
Do you still have that orange shirt and that belt buckle?
As a matter of fact, it's framed. I put it in a closet.
No, your old wardrobe for that.
It cost a lot of money, you never gave it back to us. You know, I will say this, when I don't know if anybody knows some of my background. I started writing animation. I did Scooby-Doo's, I wrote cartoons, and then I got into live action. I did, like, you know, Fall Guy and A-Team and Knight Rider and all those shows. And then about 1990, I said I want to direct, so I wrote Leprechaun. But I said originally, I made it like a Scooby-Doo, because there were a lot of colors. The orange shirt, even the kitchen, we built the kitchen in a soundstage in Santa Clarita. And if you notice, it was blue and yellow, so there was a lot of colors in it. And we watched a Blu-ray version, you know, it was shot in 35 millimeter. We watched a Blu-ray, which actually looked pretty good, but if they had the original print, which I actually have in my office somewhere, it was very vivid and colorful, and it kind of like a cartoon. So that's where the colors came from. Even Mark Holton, who played Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, who played Ozzy, and worked on a show I did called Superboy, and that's where I found him. His shirt had paintbrushes on it. His red shirt had like paintbrushes, and that was all planned to make it kind of a cartoon. So I thought it was interesting.
Since you did Scooby-Doo,
Yes.
have you heard, and if you have, what do you think of the Scooby-Doo crossover with Supernatural?
I haven't heard that, actually. They're doing that?
Yeah.
Is Supernatural with Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
And Scooby-Doo was bought by Hanna-Barbera, which did Scooby-Doo. The library was bought by Warner
Yeah, it's
Brothers.
on the CW. It's going to
I
be at
didn't
the end
know
of
that.
this month.
I
And
didn't know.
it's Supernatural is going into Scooby-Doo, and it's going to be animated.
I think that's great. You know, after Leprechaun came out in '93, I was called by Hanna-Barbera at the time to do a Scooby-Doo live-action movie. Because they said, you know, we want to do, and you know animation, and you've also done live action. And I actually developed a script. And then the regime went out, and it faded away, and then they finally did the Scooby-Doo movie 10 years later.
Was any part of your original script used for that?
No, I want to say yes, so they'll have to pay me, but no. Not a word.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You know, it might have been better that they didn't use anything I wrote.
So, what do you think about a complete remake of Leprechaun?
Well, you know, when they did Leprechaun 7 and called Leprechaun Origins, they said it's going to be the reboot of the 1993 starring Jennifer Aniston. And my attorneys, of course, because I have ownership of all the movies, and I have good ownership. And we said, well, you know, that's okay, he's fine with that, but why don't you really do a reboot? They go, no, we're going to use a different guy, we're going to make it horror, and so we're not going to have the comedy. And then they go, but you know what, maybe it's really not anything to do with your version, so maybe we don't have to pay you what we pay you every time you do it. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is just for a legal case. No, anyway, and it's being worked out, but I said, let's reboot it, and let's get Warwick, and let's kind of do it. Yeah, I said, and bring Mark Holton back, and bring John back, bring everybody back, and we can do it. And I said, your audience will like it better. They go, no, this one's going to kill. And I heard it didn't do well at all. Leprechaun Origins didn't do well. Because they said it's not Leprechaun. You know, it is what it is, but it wasn't Leprechaun. So, yes. So so just go on the internet and tell Lionsgate that they need to do the original with Mark Jones. And I could probably get Jennifer to come back and do at least a cameo. She hates me.
One last one back there.
What were the pitches for the Leprechaun movies that never got made? Like, was time travel ever on the table?
Well, when you say pitches, I know Warwick wanted to do Pirates. He talked to me about that. You know, going. I don't know what was pitched and what wasn't pitched. You know, the studios come up with everything all the time, and you never know. So I know that what was made was what Trimark did and then Lionsgate did. You know, I know that they found, you know, they did Leprechaun in the Hood and Back to the Hood. They went that direction, which I liked actually. I thought, you know, it's interesting. I don't know. I really can't answer that one. I don't know what was pitched. Yes.
Oh, this guy first. Sorry, at the back. Yeah.
Sorry. It seems like Sci-Fi Wire just announced today that they're going to be making a Leprechaun Returns. Are you involved with that at all?
Well, that's very funny. David Price, who was one of the producers on Leprechaun, he and I are good friends. He wrote and directed Children of the Corn 2, Dr. Jekyll, Miss Hyde. David's a director, and we're working on projects together. He just told me about that today. And I didn't know. And then he said, go on the, as I was driving here, he said, go on the Sci-Fi, I wasn't driving, I was being driven, but go on the Sci-Fi website, and they're saying it's the Leprechaun Returns. And he said, aren't you involved in that? So it's the first I've heard of it. I have to look it up. Yes, I mean, you know, the Writers Guild, it was a Writers Guild movie. They cover you, but studios constantly try to get out of, you know, claiming things are what they should be when, you know, because they say they shouldn't be there. So I'm going to look into that. But yes, if it's a reboot, and, you know, see, I don't own Leprechaun. Anybody can make a Leprechaun movie. But the idea is, if you make a movie that implies that it's part of the Leprechaun movie that people know, then you can't do that. So it's a lot of legal stuff. My attorneys are constantly sending letters to Lionsgate, and they're sending letters back. So that's a legal thing. But, you know, I think they should just, you know, say, hey, Mark, why don't you make one?
Yeah. The one they announced today, the Aussie character is in it, apparently. So it's definitely your...
Well, then I'll get paid. I'll get paid at least through the Writers Guild. The Writers Guild is great. They send checks all the time. So yeah, that. But you know, I mean, with the ownership, they're going to claim, well, we'll pay you for the character, but we won't pay you for the sequel, and you know, it's okay. But Leprechaun was good to me, so I'm not really complaining. But.
All right, real last one. I saw another hand somewhere. Oh, you got it. Okay, okay, this guy, he's standing up. Last one.
Did any research go into making up the rules of the movie and how a leprechaun operates, and all that? And what was the research like for the film?
You know, I'm glad you asked the question, because I always thought, you know, a wooden stake and a vampire and all the other things, you know, mirrors, and I said, the only way you can kill a vampire is with a four-leaf clover. And I made that up. But it's now become sort of part of mythology, and they changed it in number 2 and 3, and Trimark, one of them, I think number 3 was wrought iron, which has some history with the leprechaun. I said, guys, a four-leaf clover is the only way you can kill a leprechaun, just like a wooden spike. But I said, keep it going. So, no, I didn't do any research. I made it up. But I thought it was good, so they should have kept it. So.
Big round of applause.
You guys, feel free to return to the bar. They got the Leprechaun drink specials, so stick around. It's St. Patty's Day. There's a full bar downstairs. Might as well stay here. Drive safely, of course. Thanks for coming. Keep an eye out for the next screening, hopefully next month.